song. I get up and I fall down. Sometimes I feel like I'm always all around. You pick me up and brush me off. You tell me that I'm good enough. Until 3 years ago, was a life that had never really, truly felt what it feels like to feel hopeless. I was born to a Christian husband and wife. My grandfather was a preacher. Grew up in the church, to Vacation Bible School. I knew what was true, and sometimes out of fear of my own dad or the wrath of God, I stayed in line. of duty. And God didn't suffer for that. It was me that missed out.
That's right.
And 3 years ago, this December 27th, this girl that was raised in the church and married her dream guy, has 3 beautiful kids and a house much bigger than she needed. That hot guy walked out and he left. And he wanted a divorce. And I learned pretty quickly that I couldn't change him. And you see, I wrote the title track of the record, Need You Now, that the book is titled after. After my struggle with panic and anxiety attacks since I was 13. One day in the downstairs bathroom of my parents' home, I experienced this physically debilitating stomachache that I thought I was dying. And that was the first of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of those moments to happen. And I went to every doctor to figure out what it was, and no one could figure out what it was, and so they just labeled it IBS. But I lived in fear from that moment forward, which gave birth to some depression that I didn't even realize. And so here I was, anxious and fearful. And so I wrote the song saying, how many times had you heard me cry out and you never left? How many times I needed you? And I'm just so thankful that there wasn't a punch card that I had filled that you were tired of hearing from me. And in the midst of the worst pain, no matter how much, how long, or how bad, there was this little bit of peace back here in the back of my mind that God has not left me. My parents and my Sunday school teachers and my counselors at camp have all said, He'll never leave you, He'll never forsake you, He will never give you more than you can bear.
Right.
And so I kept believing that as I would breathe in and out, breathe in and out. So I wrote that song